Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is a quick no bite about the Amazon rainforest and the climate change. The Amazon, once called the lungs of the earth, holds nearly 60% of the planet's rainforests. Its story is also the story of climate change. Let's have a closer look. The Amazon rainforest is shared by 9 countries. Brazil holds by far the largest portion, around 60%. Peru comes next with about 11 to 13%. Then Bolivia with around 8%. Colombia follows with 6 to 7%. Venezuela has around 5 to 6%. Guyana 3%. Suriname about 2%, Ecuador less than 2%, and finally French Guiana around 1%. These borders were drawn on paper over the past 150 years. For the forest they mean little, but for its protection they make all the difference. Until the 60s, the Amazon rainforest remained largely intact, absorbing billions of tons of carbon dioxide. Back then, the world still believed the forest was endless, but the true scale of its role, carbon storage, water cycle, and global climate were to be discovered sometime later. Between the 60s and the 80s, large-scale deforestation began. Government incentives changed, saw bulldozers and waves of migrants in search of opportunity pushed the frontier deeper. Brazil led the way, but Bolivia, Peru, and Colombia also opened the forest to farming, mining, and timber. The Amazon had become a regional frontier of extraction. The link between carbon emissions and climate change was first made in the 19th century. In 1967, Manabe Wetherald built the first computer model showing that a doubling CO2 would warm the planet by over 2 degrees. By the late 70s, the warning was clear. Industrial emissions and Amazon deforestation were accelerating global warming. Yet for Amazonian governments, economic growth still spoke louder than climate predictions. By 1980, the science was undeniable. Deforestation and fossil fuels were accelerating global warming. The Amazon was no longer a local issue. Its water cycle and carbon balance were reshaping the planet's climate. In 1979, Amazonian government sat at the first World Climate Conference in Geneva. They knew the world knew. Yet, from 1980 to the Paris Agreement in 2015, economic growth and resource extraction kept speaking louder than climate responsibility. So this was not only a failure of Amazonian governments, but of the global community that relied on the forest and let it fall. In 2015, all 9 Amazonian countries ratified the Paris Agreement, which under Article 5 recognizes forests as critical carbon sinks. In principle, this made the Amazon a global climate responsibility, but without binding targets, action depended on national governments. Between 2015 and 2025, this year, deforestation persisted, especially in Brazil, driving droughts, breaking the water cycle and fueling global warming. Once again, the promise on paper did not match the reality on the ground. The Amazon is more than a regional forest. It's a driver of the global climate system. Scientists have been warning about this link since the 1970s. but politics too often lagged behind. The Paris Agreement in 2015 finally recognized forests as critical carbon sinks, yet real action has been slow. The lesson is clear. Every hectare lost in the Amazon is not only local destruction, but it also accelerates global warming. Rainforests are irreplaceable. They act as carbon sinks, regulate rainfall, stabilize temperature, and shelter vast biodiversity. In contrast, human so-called sustainable infrastructure, from roads to energy projects, emit greenhouse gases, fragment ecosystems, and disrupt rainfall cycles. No infrastructures, no matter how green, can replicate the functions of the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon does not need more promises, it needs action. If the forest falls, the climate falls with it, and life as we know it today will not survive unchanged. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.